Vote for the debt ceiling to be raised, and
No. Sorry, couldn't help myself.
well, that's fine, and obviously the answer is no, but that's the question. So. That's more time.
I guess I'll elaborate a little bit. Maybe it's just me, but folks, we're $17.5 trillion in debt, and we've been hearing about the debt for a long time. Everybody talks about debt. He talks about debt, he talks about debt, I talk about debt. When are we actually going to address the problem and reduce our spending and reduce the debt? My entire campaign, this is the #1 issue. I consider it one of the greatest risks to our national security and our way of life. When we have this much debt that's stagnating our economy, it hurts our dollar's reserve currency status. I'm not a conspiracy theory, I'm not an extremist, but it's a proven fact that Russia and China are making inroads to supplanting the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. They're not hiding it, they want to do it. They're doing business with other countries in different forms of payment. Because of our debt, it's hurting us to keep our status as the dollar is the world's reserve currency. And if we lose that status, that is going to be a world of hurt that we have never seen in this country in quite some time. I'm predicting that if that were to happen, the dollar would instantly lose 40 to 60% of its value. My solution? Make hard choices. Take the pain now rather than the pain that's coming down the road. Things are great in North Dakota, don't get me wrong, but in the rest of the country we have a lot of issues. But this is the one issue that affects us all. And we need to get on top of it, and we need to get on top of it right now. No more cuts to future spending increases. That doesn't cut anything. We need real cuts, year over year, reduce spending, and it's got to start now.
George.
Thanks. Another great question. You know, the debt ceiling is really about our future generations. My kids, my grandkids, your grandkids. What are we going to do to solve the problem today? What can we do to solve the problem today? Honestly, one of the problems that we can solve today and we can't address this with is shutting down our government. You know, last fall, our Congress voted to shut down the government. Over a period of 3 weeks, we lost $24 billion. Several people lost jobs in North Dakota. 2,400 North Dakota veterans lost services. 2,400, not to mention countless government employees, farmers who couldn't get into the FSA office. Why? Because Congress voted to shut down our government. And what was that really about? What was that really about? Was it really because they didn't want to raise the debt ceiling? Or was it really about something else? Maybe the Affordable Care Act. Is that what it was really about? Folks, we do have to address this problem, yes. But we can't do it by closing our services to our elderly, our farmers, our neighbors and friends, our schools. We can't do that. We have to address this problem by getting in a room and working things out, all of us. And that's what I promise that I will do. You know, something else happened when the government was shut down last fall. Somebody sitting at this table voted to shut down the government and still took his own paycheck, while many people across North Dakota were not taking paychecks. I don't think that's right, and I will promise you this. If I'm in Congress and our government gets shut down by Congress, I will not take my paycheck. Thank you.
Well, guess what, George? When the government was shut down, I didn't vote for it one time. Not once did I vote to shut down the government. You're in error. Secondly, while the government was shut down, I worked every day, all day long. And by the way, I took my salary, and for every week that I worked while the government was shut down, I gave 2 weeks away to charity. I just didn't put out a news release to brag about it because I don't think that's what charitable people do. But since you brought it up, I thought I would raise it. One of the most wonderful things about being open when the government was shut down was, I took all the calls, not only from my office, but all the calls that went to the senators' offices when they got the recording saying, I'm sorry, but we're shut down. I got to talk to a lot of North Dakotans during that time. Now, I will tell you this, I don't think George said what he would do if he was confronted with raising the debt ceiling, but I actually voted against raising the debt ceiling this most recent time. But here's what else has happened since I got to Congress. I came into Congress with a $1.1 trillion deficit spending in 2012. In 2013, yes, the government was shut down for a couple of weeks, but we did hash out a budget for 2013 and for 2014. In the 2013, the budget deficit was reduced to $642 billion from $1.1 trillion. And next year, the Office of Management and Budget and Congressional Budget Office estimates that the budget deficit will be $317 billion. That's doing the job. Going from $1.1 trillion deficit to $378 billion deficit, that's doing the job. But we're never going to get to balance until we deal with the tough issues, the issues that some people don't ever want to talk about. The fact that, for example, the Medicare Trust Fund is going to be insolvent in 10 years, 11 years. Social Security in less than 20 years. So we've got big issues to deal with, but I've been dealing with them.
Next question.